Is the world today a better place than it used to be? Or is the world not as good as it was when I was younger? Right? When you look at measuring things, there is objectivity and there is subjectivity. You can measure what's happening in the world based on objective parameters, and you can measure what's happening in the world based on your subjective experiences too. Everybody who's raising here, their hands here, saying that the world is a better place or India is a better place, if I might ask them to show their hands, giving them statistics, objective statistics, very few people might have those objective statistics to prove that the world or the country is a better place than before. But every single individual here has had a subjective experience of whether the world is a better place or not a better place, whether the country is a better place or the country is not a better place. So we measure whatever it is in the world based on an objective and a subjective experience. Objectivity is all about numbers, subjectivity is all about experience. I remember I was in Germany at Schloss Elmo for an event. And this was all diplomats from around the world, and I was meant to give a keynote there. I was staying at Schloss Elmo. I'm a vegetarian. Not just a vegetarian, my faith, from the faith that I am, I don't even have onion and garlic in my food, like a very sattvic meal as we would call it. I was staying there for 3 days and I didn't get anything to eat. All I got was some fruits and nuts. And I was going nuts, eating fruits and nuts. I mean, you need some carbohydrates. And at the end of it all, I spoke to the chef, who was a German gentleman, and I asked him if he could make something for me. Finally, he ended up making some risotto, which was according to my dietary preferences. The bowl for the risotto was this huge, and the risotto was like this much. It's like I'm starving. 3 days of starving. I come up on Lufthansa Airlines. I settle myself down, and my host had forgotten to book my dietary preferences meals. Long flight. I'm starving. And then the stewardess, she came up to me. Sir, you haven't eaten anything. I said, but nobody booked my meals. He said, can I get you something at least? I said, I'm fine actually. Can I get you some fruits, please? I said, ma'am, I'm tired of fruits. Any nuts? In my mind, I said, please stop driving me nuts. She went to the galley. She came back in again and asked me, nothing at all. I said, ma'am, you remind me of my mom. Constantly, can you have this? You haven't eaten. I said, do you have a granola bar? She said, yeah, I can check. She went to the galley. She brought me a granola bar. I had it. But एक भूखे इंसान को कुछ खिलाना शेर को एक बूंद लहू पिलाने जैसा होता है. I'm hungry. That granola bar, I don't know where it settled down. I just buzzed again and I said, ma'am, another bar? She went to the galley. She said, sorry sir, that was the last one. After 10 minutes, the lady came back in again. And she pulled out a granola bar out of her personal purse. She said, the galley doesn't have any granola bars, but this is my personal bar. And the reason she said it was a personal bar, she said, I wouldn't have mentioned, but I've just taken a bite. Now, in my mind, I thought to myself, na to tum shabri ho na main Ram ho, that you give bitten berries to she's taken a piece of the bar. So she kind of sensed that confusion on my face. He said, no, I just snapped a piece and ate it. I'm not kind of bitten into it. I took it. And to date, I have that granola bar with me. That is my subjective experience of Germany. Right? If you ask me to give objective stats of Germany, I'm not into statistics. I'll have to study a paper to say whether Germany is doing well or not doing well. My subjective experience of Germany was this lady, the German stewardess. And like I always say, you never you never, ever get a second chance to make the first good impression. You never get a second chance to make the first good impression. And here she was. Instantly just got into my mind. For me, Germany was the treatment I received on Lufthansa Airlines. So which is why when I answer questions like these, they're tricky. You can answer that based on objective parameters. You can answer that question based on a subjective experience. And most all of us who've raised our hands are talking about things a lot based on our subjective experiences, because there'll be others who have different experiences and may disagree with us on that. The only thing we couldn't disagree upon is the numbers when they are presented to us. Facts and figures and objective stats for which we'll need a presentation to say, is the world a better place than it was before? Is the country a better place than what it was before? Let's flash numbers here and then answer that question. But if we were to answer that question based on show of hands, each one of our opinions has a very subjective opinion, right? And it's based on a very subjective experience as well. So if you want a very candid answer, we would have to look at objectivity. If we want to have a personal answer, we would have to look at an experience. And which is why there are things in the world that are better, and there are also things in this world that are not better. Is the world a better place than it was before? Yes. In certain aspects, I do feel it is. In certain aspects, I do feel it's not. Is the country a better place? Probably in certain aspects it is. In certain aspects it is not. And which is why I would say, let us look at the objective and the subjective and then gauge whether the world or the country or any other nation or humanity as by and large is better or not.